in this tutorial, we are going to learn how to deploy a smart contract to Etherscan using Hardhat and Kovan testnet. So the first step is for us to create a folder. So I'm using a MacBook, so probably can use a Windows also. So you go ahead and create a folder. You can use any location of your choice. All right, so the name of my folder would be Hardhat example. All right, so the next thing is to access it using a text editor. So you can use any text editor of your choice. So here I'm using VS Code. So you click on File and click on Open Folder. So we locate our folder Hardhat example, then we open. Okay, then come down and click here. All right, so we now open our terminal in VS Code. So the next step for us to do is to install Hardhat. So we'll copy this code. So it will take a few minutes for it to install. So let's just give it some time. So while we are waiting for it, so after installing, we'll now create our Hardhat project. So use npx Hardhat to create our Hardhat project. All right, so it has installed. So we have our node module here and our party.json. So you're seeing our Ethereum blockchain and probably see every other dependency we need to see. Okay. So let's paste this one, npx Hardhat. So once you put npx Hardhat, you have to see this Hardhat here. So there are several options. We have the first one is to create a basic sample project, create an advanced sample project, create an advanced sample project that uses TypeScript, and create an empty Hardhat config.js, or you quit. So we are using a create a basic sample project. So what is your location, the project root? So these are project roots, the name, document, GitHub, and the project root. So you click enter. So do you want to add git ignore? Just type Y. And how do you want to install the project dependencies? So also type yes. So give it some time for it to install. All right, so this will take a little bit of time, and it depends on your network, how fast your network is. So while you're waiting for it, the next step is okay. So after installing, the next step is for us to modify our contract in the contract folder and also modify the Hardhat config file. So already we are with the folders are coming up, the test folder, we are having the script folder, we are having the contract folder. So this is the contract, it came with a glitter example in the sample project. So here I've written few smart contracts, so we can take any example here. All right, so we can take this contact. This is a contact saving smart contract. So what we have to do is to change the Hardhat config, change the selected code in the contract folder with your own code, and also modify the Hardhat config file. So let us change code we have here with our own code. Then come here and copy all this. So change the Hardhat config. So we are changing the module export. So we're changing the entire module export this way. So the default network is Kovan. I haven't had. Now in this URL, you add your Kovan URL, and you also add your account, which is your MetaMask private key here, and the Etherscan. Go over to Etherscan and also get the API key in Etherscan. Okay, so all right, so the project has been created and everything has been installed. All right. So we also change the information we have in the script, which what we have here. So go over to the script, sample script. Now the name of this is your contract name. So our contract name is contact. So we'll change it to contact. Now we can also change the sample script to whatever name we decide to name it. You can name it contact script. You can still leave it at the sample script. So let us change it to contact script. So we can change this to contact. So the name will be in line with what we have already. Right. So the fourth step is for us to okay, yeah. So before the fourth step, let us fill up let us go back to the hard config file and fill up the Kovan URL. So we use Alchemy for this. So you go back to alchemyapi.io and register with them and use any testnet example from there. So in this tutorial, we're using Kovan. Then also get our MetaMask private key. details, get your private key there. So we replace it with this. Then the alchemy, what you will do is to create a new project, create a new app. You give it a name. We can call it Hardhat example with a development purpose from Ethereum, and we are using Kovan, and we'll create app. So view key, and you copy the HTTP and not the WebSocket. So copy the HTTP and replace it with what we have here. Then Etherscan, you go to Etherscan. So API keys, and we'll copy API keys of Etherscan and save. All right, we're good to go. All right, so the fourth step is for us to install Hardhat Etherscan using this command line. So I will also add this required in our Hardhat config file. So also require this. All right, so the next step for us to take is to use this command npx hardhat compile. So we have to compile it. There's one error. The one private key is too short. Invalid account. Program private key is too short. Expected 32 bytes. Okay, let me check. Okay, so I made a mistake. Yeah. All right. MPX 5 All right, so compilation successful. All right, so the next step is for us to run this command mpx hardhat run. So click this command, and remember we changed the name from sample to contact. So mpx. All right, so let's give it a few minutes for it to run. Okay, so it has deployed, greater deployed to this address. All right, so let us go over to Etherscan to confirm the address. So to confirm the address, you click in this search bar. All right, so the address is available. Okay, now the next step for us to verify. So let us verify with the address. So after typing this npm, this command npm hardhat verify network kovan, and you type your address to verify, so you get to have that the compilation finished successfully, and you also successfully submitted your source code for contract, and you get to see the address has been verified successfully also, and giving the direct URL for you to check the verification. So for us to check that it has been verified, so let us copy the address and we head up to Kovan Etherscan.io. So we paste it there. It's out already. Then we have it here. So you have the read, so you can read, and now you can interact with your smart contract. So at this moment, so for you to interact with your smart contract, you need to have some free headers for you to play around with, and also connect it to Web3. So I have a tutorial that I showed on how to do that. So let me just quickly connect it to Web3. You click OK, and automatically it has connected to Web3.